Okay. Hello, everyone. It's Brian. I'm back. You're right there. I was looking over here, but I was actually right here. It's BrakeSec Education. We're going to talk about a little news today. Actually, a couple of interesting articles that I didn't expect to see. And at some point, I will be hacking up along because I have a smoker's cough from the dry air and the smoke particulates that may or may not exist in the air in the San Diego area. There, that's a little bit of what you're going to hear. Worse than I normally do. Anyway, yeah, so interesting things. It's Wednesday, by the way. If you're just adjusting your screens or whatever, it's not Tuesday like I normally do. Yesterday, I chose the nuclear option. I woke up that day and realized that I needed to do the nuclear option and have put myself on the market for a job. And I did it in a probably bit more noisier than some people would suggest that I do. And yeah, so it's not the way they would have done it, obviously, but I posted it up on LinkedIn and got a lot of well-wishers. Apparently the open to work also means you've been laid off, which isn't technically true. I just think a lot of people put the open to work thing when they have been laid off. Hey, I've been laid off. Here's my open to work. Yeah. So I'm currently looking for a new position, something in product management, security product management, security maintenance, not maintenance, but, product management of security nature, features, handling security features, that kind of thing. And yeah, I originally had thought, hey, maybe it was a good idea. Maybe I should remove that. And I talked with a couple of people, and they're like, if you're committed to leaving your organization, one of two things is going to happen. They don't care, which in that case, you're like, okay. The other one will be they will want to have a discussion about why you did that. Are you unhappy with what you're doing? How you're currently working? If you're doing it as a bargaining chip to get more money or to get a promotion or whatever, that's always a problem or a thing too. Of which I'm not. I don't work like that, and so I'm interested in figuring out what's out there. And I've been working at my current place for 4 years, and it's time to move on. I think it is. New challenges, maybe a little promotion, something not lateral, and maybe a culture change. Some cultures are better than others, and it's just something to do. So if you're looking for a security program manager or a product manager for features or development of features or development of product, you're looking for a bug bounty person to build out your program or to help you avoid pitfalls if you're going to establish one, hit me up. Anyway, so let me move that down a little bit. So there were a couple of articles I saw today that I found that I didn't know there was a huge issue for this. Oh, come on, man. There we go. So if you're a what the hell is going on? Wink. What in the hell is going on here? What? That is super ultra mega weird. Okay. Somehow I managed to have myself up there multiple times with the same camera, no less. There we go. All right. So, how many of you use WordPress? Raise your hand. Probably use WordPress. If you don't, somebody who does, or your company does. There's a huge thing going on in court between Automatic and the CEO, Matt Mullenweg, and a WordPress hosting company called WP Engine. I don't use either one of these. I use actually GitHub pages, which, you know, it's not WordPress. I get it. You know, WordPress can be used for great effect for many organizations. I would find it ironic that The Verge might actually use WordPress. Let me see if I can figure out if they do or not. Anyway, besides the point. So this is the original here from The Verge. I actually saw the original article from MT Taggart about, you know, what's been going on. So he says WordPress co-founder Matt Mullenweg, apparently this is the guy, is going after a rival hosting firm because he has the owner of the open source version of WordPress, which you can technically host anywhere and what have you. And that WP Engine is the hosting service that runs a lot of WordPress sites, but they are, how did he say it? Yeah, WP Engine's a third-party hosting company, free and open source WordPress software created and sells its own prepackaged version of WordPress. And founded in 2010, it's grown to rival WordPress.com. So WordPress.com has its own WordPress hosting service. WP Engine is another version that has built its own prepackaged, potentially optimized, I'm not sure, but it is a prepackaged version of WordPress to host sites on. And he says, well, he had a comment in here at some point, or maybe that was on the other article, but he had said that they were, multiple forms of irreparable harm. He's suggesting that the open source team, WordPress.org, contributes 4,000 hours a week combined of all of the people in his org, 4,000 hours a week. So, what a 40-hour work week. So there's roughly 1,000 people donating time to the open source version of WordPress.com. A company may not have to pay to use WordPress, but it certainly pays to develop and improve it. He says their operating model for WP Engine is different. They focuses on investing through sponsorships and encouraging the adoption of the platform. And he says that it profits off the back of open source without giving anything back. And we've talked about that here on more than one occasion. The open source community, at least for security tools, specifically like CrackMap exec, which used to be around. I think it moved or has been CrackMap exec. Yeah, Byte Bleeder. This is, this was due to, I think we had Byte Bleeder on at one point, and he was talking about monetizing or creating a monetization model for open source developers. And I think we talked about a little bit about what it takes to do that. And the problem with a lot of open source, and things like Linux and whatever are outliers in this case, but there's a ton of things out there on GitHub that are open source that people can use freely with it's almost like a social contract of sorts where it's suggested that if you use it and you like it, you contribute back in some way, right? And for the vast majority of that, it doesn't happen, right? You get people who take and they don't give back. They'll put in bug fixes or something like that. They don't give anything back. So obviously it doesn't set well with a lot of open source people. Also, you have the model where whole devices, whole platforms, whole bought and paid for software and services are built on the back of open source, FFmpeg and FFmpeg is used in a lot of paid for systems, infotainment systems on cars, for example, or I think it was even used at one point in like Blu-ray players and things like that, because it is it's code that is free. It is open for people to use in some way. It is licensed with the idea that you give credit, but there's nothing in the license that says you have to pay for it. It's free, right? So if it's free, that means people can use it with no repercussions. Some people, and we've seen that with developers and things too as well, with like NPM packages where developers rage quit. So you have this coder right here. I think this is one of the earlier ones that I remember with like left pad or something like that. I think is what it, or no, kick. Yeah, kick. But yeah, so I mean, you have developers like this that have these projects and they put them out there, and they're like, hey, I'd love some money. And they're like, well, you've already given it away for free. Why would we do that? And so to go back to the story here, well, the original one here, frustration came to a head when Mullenweg took the stage at WorldCamp, which is WordPress's conference, their product conference. And he said he took a pot shot or two at WP Engine, $102 million in assets. Silver Lake doesn't give anything about your open source ideals. Just wants to turn on capital. So WP Engine is, and he says that Silver Lake and WP Engine is profiting on the backs of WordPress.org. The problem is, they can. There isn't a contract in open source that suggests that you actually have to give anything back for the code that you use, other than, hey, we use this. Like in our SBOMs, for instance, like we're using this license, we're using this NP, we're not using this license, we're using this package, and according to the licensing on that packaging, they can do that, right? I think there's only been a handful, and it was a real uproar. I think Elasticsearch was one of those ones where it was like, yeah, we're no longer going to do that. Let me see, where was that? Oh, so it looks like they backtracked on some of this stuff for Elasticsearch. Interesting. Yeah, 4 years after going proprietary. So sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, right? So licensing kerfuffles, right? Grafana, Element have gone. HashiCorp did it last year being 2023. So Elasticsearch did this in 2021. They said after years of conflict with Amazon's subsidiary AWS selling its own managed version of Elasticsearch. So this is very similar to, so if Elastic in this case is WordPress.org, Amazon is WP Engine, Amazon sells its own version or packages its own version of Elasticsearch and charges people for it. And Elasticsearch is like, where's my money? And, they were perfect, exactly like the article says, while Amazon AWS is perfectly within its rights given to the permissive nature of the Apache 2.0 license, Elastic took umbrage at the way they were marketing its incarnation using branding such as, oh, well, see, that's a little different. And it was causing too much confusion, and they changed their licensing. So apparently they've reversed themselves after 4 years, so they're going back to open source. It's interesting how they did that. Maybe they thought maybe they won the war there or something. But it's I don't know. I think it sucks. It really does. It would be nice if WordPress.org got even 10% of the $102 million in assets that WP Engine has. But the licensing of such a thing is not conducive to making money. Open source is not meant to make money. There's no way to easily monetize something you've already given away for free. And I mean, they could. What did he? Wait. He wrote a blog post on September 12th. Okay, I didn't read that part. I hadn't read that part. Let's let's go read this. Oh my God. Okay. My own mother was confused and thought WP Engine was an official thing. Their branding, marketing, and advertising and entire promise to customers is that they're giving you WordPress, but they're not. They're profiting off the confusion. WP Engine needs a trademark license to continue their business. Okay, so what he's saying is that when people see WP Engine, they think WordPress. That must be the official one because it has WordPress in it instead of WordPress.com. So they think WordPress Engine, WordPress.com, exact same, but they're not. That's interesting. Wait. Private equity for, okay. Wait, there's two different numbers here. So to summarize, they do $500 million in revenue on top of WordPress and contribute back 40 hours. Automatic is a similar size and contributes 3,000. Okay. So wait, he said, wait. He said, what? Okay, so he's changing his numbers. Here's one that's almost 4,000 hours. Here's one that's, well, almost 4,000 hours. He's missed about 60 hours here, it looks like. So maybe he didn't add his own time or something, and it's the CEO. So I guess he's going through and trying to show you how the differences between WP Engine and WordPress.com is. How many of you use one or the other? Anybody use WordPress.com? WP Engine? Any differences that you feel one over the other? Why did you pick one over the other? Did you not know that the other one existed? Is one easier to use than the other? Because I think in the face of if both of them were free. There we go. In the face of them being both free or low cost, customer experience would kind of trump that. If it's easier to manage your WordPress instances, add plugins, remove plugins, customize, that would be a selling point. Even if you had to pay a little more for one, then would that be something worth having? Ooh. He says, one of the many reasons they're cancer to WordPress. Oof, good Lord. What WP Engine gives you is not WordPress. It's actually something they've chopped up, hacked, and butchered to look like WordPress, but they're actually giving you a cheap knockoff and charging you more for it. That is interesting. From a security point of view, WordPress hasn't always had the best security model, right? Usually when you see problems with WordPress plugins or something like that, or there's a WordPress vulnerability, it's because of a bad module or somebody has posted up a plugin that allows things like cross-site scripting or insecure direct object reference or some kind of web app vulnerability. Very rarely do we actually see vulnerabilities in the WordPress core that has happened. And so it's interesting. It's interesting. Does WP Engine chop it up and butcher it up and remove functionality? Do they take the code from WordPress, make some specific changes to increase functionality? I don't know. What it seems to me is as long as WP Engine is giving WordPress, WordPress time of day. Okay, so there's WordPress.com. At least Google's got the search engine optimization correct. So WP in what? Do you use WordPress? Do you use WordPress? No? Okay. Ooh. They've got all their logos on there, which is great. Salespeople love having logos on their websites. So it feels like they tout themselves as like a Squarespace kind of thing, right? You've got they built this. They're eating their own dog food, so this looks very much like a Squarespace kind of feel to it with its got numbers and stuff. Okay, cool. Got your DE&I here going on, cool. You got numbers that are moving. You've got a chat bot. See, that's my thing. So you got wordpress.com. Wait. Wait. Okay. Okay. So it doesn't have as much on there. So okay, that's cool. I was like, they have the same scrolling logo thing that the the rival has. They got. So okay. So WP Engine gives you all this additional stuff. They give you. Oh, see, they've got. So they have a bunch of the same folks. I wonder if they shared a lot of the same logos or whatever. Let's see. I mean, I think as long as they give credit where credit's due. Let me see. See, WP is a proud supporter of the community of WordPress users. WordPress trademarks are the intellectual property of the WordPress Foundation, and WooCommerce trademarks are intellectual property of WooCommerce. Uses of WordPress, Woo, and WooCommerce in the names in this site are for identification purposes only. Do not imply an endorsement by WordPress Foundation or WooCommerce. WP Engine is not endorsed by, owned, or affiliated with the WordPress Foundation or WooCommerce Inc. Yeah, I think, again, this is like a weakness of open source. You give your stuff away, and then you hope people are going to give you money back. It's kind of like my stream here. It's open source. I mean, I'm posting it to YouTube, but it's like on the stream, you know, I ask for, you know, hey, please subscribe, which is a payment, right? Please subscribe, please ring the bell, you know, please tell your friends. Those are all things that I'm asking you to pay back, right? In this case, I can't force you to do that. It would be nice if you could. You know, if I set up a Ko-fi or something like that, and they'd be like, hey, you know, if you can't do the Ko-fi thing, you can still ring the bell, you still subscribe, you can still tell your friends. But, you know, if you've got a couple bucks, you know, coffee would be great. You know, give me enough money for coffee or something like that. WP Engine doesn't have to pay them anything. And I guess it got really ugly because WP Engine is suing because I guess the CEO of Automatic had blocked access to resources and interfered with the plugins that WP Engine had access to. So if you use WP Engine and you go and you download your plugins that come from wordpress.org, wordpress.org. Oh, wait. WordPress.org, no. Okay, it's a completely different site. Interesting. You know, if you are, so let's see, no, wait. So they filed an injunction accusing Automatic of multiple forms of immediate irreparable harm. So they're by only blocking WP Engine, and I think that's probably where the judge was like, yeah, you can't do that. If you're going to block access to all your third-party plugins, that WordPress.org, WordPress.com, you have to block it for everybody that isn't WordPress.com.org. You can't just single out WP Engine. So any other WordPress hosting org that may actually donate money back to WordPress gets a pass. Well, okay. So let me see. So the judge found merit in claims that they harmed the business relationships. Mullenweg doesn't want a relationship with WP Engine until WP Engine starts ponying up some cash, I think. Conduct is designed to induce breach or disruption. So maybe they do have some kind of, shake hands agreement to be able to do that. Automatic's argument that blamed WP Engine for relying on WordPress to power its business. Didn't find it compelling. While the defendants characterized the harm as self-imposed because it built its business around a website that had no contractual right to use, the defendant's role in helping that harm materialize through their recent actions targeted towards WP Engine and no other competitor cannot be ignored. Yep, I think that's where they screwed up. If they'd have blocked third-party access to anything or any other organization using their third-party, their plugins at wordpress.com.org, then the judge might have had a bit more. Might have had a bit more of reason to say, hey, you know what, that's their stuff, right? But because they blocked only WP Engine, the judge is like, yeah, no, you're showing favoritism, or you're showing it's not good. It's not good. So they permitted the injunction. Ruling found WP showed it will suffer irreparable harm without injunction relief while also impacting the members. Well, yeah, people can't download plugins, they can't get updates, they can't give, people can't publish things to WordPress's site to then pull that down with their WordPress version. I don't know how WP Engine works, but I'd imagine the update function is we'll reach out to the third party or the WordPress org or com plugin registry to say, oh, this has been updated. If there's security vulnerabilities that are coming out for a vulnerability like weird hunk companion. So if you're on WP Engine, maybe you need to, update your hunk companion WordPress plugin. Oh, wait, yeah. So something happened here. Yeah, so, any kind of WordPress plugins that have vulnerabilities in them wouldn't get updated here. So that would put WP Engine's people and their hosting at a disadvantage, and no other ones would be harmed in that way. So something like this would be bad, and they'd have to fix that. So WP Engine responded on X. We are grateful the court has granted our motion for preliminary injunction, restores access and functionality of WordPress.org to WP Engine customers and users. Automatic tells them to look forward to prevailing a trial. Okay, well, I'm not a lawyer. I am not a court reporter. I am not a stenographer. I'm not a court artist. I'm not a member of the jury. I am not a judge. And I would say that they screwed up by not blocking access to all third parties there. Now, my guess is if I was WP Engine, I would be creating my own archive of WordPress plugins, maybe for my own customers' use. And I would probably take the high road and make it available to everybody, even wordpress.org.com users. As another method by which you could get those updates. Because if they can already pull apart the update function, as this person has mentioned, where was it? They said they were hacking, what did he say? He was hacking it together. Anyway, he said they took it and they were like, Frankensteining it into something else, like its own packaged version. They can do that. They can also change the update mechanism inside of their WordPress instances to point to a different place. And so were I WordPress Engine, I might be creating a third party of my own for plugins that would be replicated from wordpress.org. I don't know any other WordPress hosting sites. WordPress.com. Oh yeah, here you go. 2024 hosting picks. A2 web hosting, HostGator, Bluehost, DreamHost, InMotion. Here's WP Engine, GoDaddy. Okay, GoDaddy uses WordPress, but none of these got blocked. Only WordPress Engine got blocked. So that's like I said, that's where WordPress.org pooched it, right? So we'll see what happens. I mean, the worst thing could happen is they come to some sort of agreement. Hopefully they can settle out of court and say, hey, you know, we're going to start donating money to WordPress.org. Hopefully that money will go to the workers and people who are helping to support WordPress.org and not, you know, the CEO's pocket. Hey, Mike. I have given up on Twitch. I find I have seen a lot of people on Reddit mentioning, especially on Reddit, Twitch Reddit, that the Twitch Reddit on Reddit, that yeah, there's just a lot of issues. You know, I haven't had any problems with this since I started just streaming directly to YouTube. I probably should be uploading the videos from YouTube direct into Twitch. That'd probably be the best way to go. And maybe I'll continue doing that instead of running live there. I did post up the link to our YouTube stream on our chat channels on Discord and Slack. Probably should have put it up on Bluesky and all that as well to cover that. But yeah, sorry, I need to check in and make sure that, okay, we're good. But yeah, so yeah, sorry about that, Mike. Yeah. So yeah, interesting discussion there about all of that. Oh, and then what did he say? No, he didn't. Oh, the CEO of WordPress.com quit the Slack of WP Engine, saying, you know, I'm out of here. I'm not going to do this anymore. This is hot garbage. Where was that? Where did he say that at? Huh. Interesting. Rage quit. So yeah. I expect it to be, yeah, he ripped into them saying it's a crappier experience so they can make more money. All that's kind of subjective. HushCon is, yes. I saw that. I would love to come to HushCon. I also saw that the ISSA, local ISSA up in Puget Sound, Seattle, sorry for those of you who are not in that area, but are doing their masked ball sometime soon. I only know that because I'm working with some of the ISSA folks to do another CISSP boot camp like we did earlier this year. So yeah, I'd love to do that too. Unfortunately, it's the weekend just before we go on vacation, and it's a little late for me to be getting airfare and then having to stay 2 days in Seattle and then flying back home. Wouldn't be able to justify that as a business expense because none of the people I work with are in Seattle either. So. But I would love to come up to HushCon. It'd be the second one I've missed, but I'm definitely planning on that next year. If anything, we could see about maybe I can get our folks to do an on-site or something up there, wink, so that they will be able to. I'll be able to justify that, you know, that way. So, how many of you know about Salt Typhoon? Raise your hand. Oh, wait, there we go. Raise your hand if you know about Salt Typhoon. Salt Typhoon, which I actually appreciate these names better than like heroic artwork that looks like, thank you, Mike. So, Salt Typhoon telecom hacking. A lot of the telecoms in America pretty much got owned up. That was the other thing. They said don't use, what is it, NSA, SMS, do not use. Or no, was it FBI? Oh yeah, there we go. So this came in last week. It's funny, U.S. government who loves spying is now encouraging citizens to use encrypted apps. Yeah. I mean, they work so hard to try to get rid of encryption backdoors, and then it's like, to Mike's point, hey, oh, by the way, you probably should be using encrypted, apps. Unless it's like, hey, we already got those backdoored anyway, so go ahead and use them because China hasn't gotten them backdoored yet, but I don't know. So this was republished on December 6th. The new cybersecurity regulations were proposed. So yeah, cybersecurity attacks attributed to Salt Typhoon, group associated with Ministry of Public Security, which is ironic, generated heightened concern as to the vulnerabilities within critical U.S. communications network. Reality is different. Without fully end-to-end encrypted messaging and calls, there's always been a potential for an interception. That's the entire reason Google, Meta, and Apple advised use, highlighting the fact that they can't see content. So yeah, apparently China has owned up a ton of telecoms. The way they're making it sound, all of them got owned up. And so they're holding a classified brief as of December 9th. That was was that Sunday? Why were they? Well, okay, it is Sunday. And at least 8 telecoms and telecom infrastructure firms have been impacted, and a large number of metadata has been stolen in the sweeping cyber espionage campaign. One of those, I believe, they said was like T-Mobile, T-Mo, Salt, Typhoon. Yeah, so telecom, T-Mobile, telecom attack spree. I think they were one of the first to get hit. There it is. They said no sensitive data was stolen, but federal agencies claim otherwise. CISA and FBI said attackers accessed all records of specific customers and private comms of targeted individuals. Now, when they say private comms, low level, did a great video about it. He basically said the only way to secure telecoms is to burn it down and start fresh, which was unlikely to happen, right? Yeah, I mean, we had the same problem with when we went from 2G to 3G on cell phones. Oh yeah, we've added all the security for 3G. Boom, immediately been owned up. 4G, oh, we're going to do so much better. No, poof. 5G, same shit, different day. Same shit, different protocol or something. It's just that much faster to get owned. But yeah, there's a lot of discussion about that. T-Mobile, I think, was probably the first to get hit because it seems like they get hit every 2 or 3 months. I have some inside baseball and some other things that I've heard about with TMO, but I will, not mention those here. They say they're the second largest wireless carrier. It's investigating and monitoring a cyber attack consistent with recent activities. A cyber actor, November 18. So this is almost a month ago when they got hit. And so yeah, there's a lot of discussion about encryption comms, no longer using SMS because everything's been owned up. Now, again, it comes back to your threat model, and I've argued this point for years. It's like trying to get my family, not my immediate family, but like my mother and whatever, to use encrypted comms. She doesn't see any need, right? Even if I told her, hey, China's looking at all your shit, she's gonna be like, I don't care. And that's just the way things are. Mike, if you've got a link to that low level, we can post up the video about that. I don't know if he's on Twitch or if he's an influencer on Insta or whatever. But if you got that link, yeah, post it up. Fully encrypted comms is the best defense against this. Americans are urged to use that whenever possible. There's some folks who just don't give a shit, right? Now, if you're talking about something that if it's not like, bread, eggs, milk at the hey honey, go grab bread, eggs, milk at the store, you might get away with not using encryption. But if you're talking about, any kind of information that could be used against you, one second, I have a response on a Slack I have to answer. There we go. Speaking of, it really depends on what your threat model is. If you're living in the United States and you're in an unsafe kind of thing and you want to talk about anything, if it isn't, even things you could consider innocuous probably should go encrypted, because you don't know what will be secret in the future. And I think it's not just use encrypted comms. Whatever comms you need to use must have perfect forward secrecy, which in this case would be like, once you've sent it and it's encrypted, it needs to be able to be secure for the future, right? So 5 years down the line, when they've broken that cipher, you won't be able to read that anyway, right? There'll be other encryption that can be done that can be added on or what have you. So yeah, everybody should be using Signal. Somebody suggested WhatsApp, but I think Signal is the one that I think is not owned by Meta. Signal has been vetted, and I think they suggested Signal. Let me see. Where's maybe they didn't. Maybe the government can't make that suggestion, but I think everybody's like, hey, use Signal if you have to, or what have you. Company has no evidence of access of exfiltration of any customer or sensitive data, whatever. It doesn't matter if they've accessed call records or what have you. They've already got that information. The fact that they could get it without encryption and the data wasn't put somewhere that was secure. Oh yes, AT&T, Verizon, and Lumen Technologies. So telecom providers, no one is pleased with Chinese government has access to information about us from our cell phones, one of the more intimate devices used in our daily lives. Signal's already enabled PQC, which is great. Problem is using it, right? I mean, I still use, let me see, what do I have on here? I have WhatsApp, I have Telegram, I have Telegram for all my good Russian friends. WhatsApp, I have Signal, I've got them all. WhatsApp, Signal, Telegram, they're there. The only thing I don't have is Wire, and I think Wire got busted. So, but yeah, it's, I don't know. Anyway, so to continue on with the discussion. So yeah, Salt Typhoon owned up a bunch of telecoms in the area. It's assumed they probably all use the same technology. They all use the same infrastructure, potentially. And so they've been doing that for years. So all their network routers, all of their kit is going to be similar, right? Because cross compatibility, the ability to network with one another or share information across, like cell phone locations, towers are going to be the same, protocols are going to be the same. So, doink. So apparently, and this is, our U.S. government, a defense spending bill has $3 billion earmarked to rip and replace technology inside of telecoms that are specifically related to getting rid of Huawei and ZTE or ZTE equipment that is still in telecoms. Now, sure, it's a great idea. The government is having to spend $3 billion to help businesses that make billions of dollars on their own to remove infrastructure in their environment. Think about that for a second. Government has earmarked billions of dollars for corporations that are publicly traded who also make billions of dollars to replace the technology that they bought on the cheap, probably because they all have Huawei and ZTE for a reason, because the lowest bidder wins, right? and the government is paying for that. Makes sense. Makes sense. I mean, look, how much did TMO make last quarter? Q3 2024 profit. All right, so revenue, $10.6 billion. Net income, $1.63 billion. And so cost of revenue, $6.26 billion. Operating income, $91 billion US. They're down a little bit. I won't lie. Oh, wait, this is Thermo Fisher. What the hell? There we go. Ah, so there you go. According to this, revenue $20 billion, net income $3.06 billion, up 43% from this time last year. Profit margin 15%. So I don't know how this works. T-Mobile says, hey, we'd love to replace all that technology. It would be nice if somebody could help us do that because we're poor and we're broke. And the US government says, oh, okay, here's $100 million. You still have to rip and replace that stuff, which means you have to purchase it and you have to, companies like Cisco, they're going to come in, which I don't know what you would rip and replace with that hasn't been manufactured in China. Maybe Cisco has better quality assurance that, hey, our stuff isn't owned up by Chinese nationals. Or maybe there is something from Taiwan, maybe something like that. The problem isn't the rip and the replace or the throwing the money at the problem. You still have to be able to rip and replace. I don't know. It must be a stock market thing. It's the only thing I can think of. Where it's like, oh, well, we had to spend $1 billion of our own money to rip and replace because China owned us up real good. And the government is offsetting that so that it will make stock market feel better about themselves. Hey, buddy. Hey, my boy. My good boy. Yeah, he's my good man. So yeah, I'm a little confused about why the government would spend $3 billion to help all of the various telecoms that have Huawei and ZTE stuff in there. I remember Australia and other countries did this a few years ago. Australia, rip and replace ZTE, Huawei. Yes. Well, get up here, buddy. Come on. There we go. There's my boy. This is my boy. There's my boy Q-Tip. Yeah, buddy. He's my good boy. Yeah, it's my boy. Look at him. He's a good boy. Funny that your mouse is TMO themed. Oh yeah, it's because I've got old ass eyes, so I need to have that ability. Yeah, it is pink, isn't it? Oh, it was either that or bright orange, and I was like, oh, okay. He's my good boy. He's my handsome man. He hasn't been feeling good recently, so we've had to been giving him pills every night because he's got a stopped up nose like Daddy. He's my good boy. He's a handsome man. So, Australia did something similar a few years ago where they ripped and replaced everything because they were building out a continent-wide, national broadband network. And one of the stipulations was, well, we've got phase 1 in and we've got all this Huawei kit, and then, oh shit, they're owned by China. Or they're owned up by China, or they're China influenced. China government influence in this case. And it was like, oh, we got to get rid of this stuff. And then, then they had to spend time and money ripping all of that out or replacing it with Cisco or Fortinet. I don't know what they have now, but it's just interesting to see that, the U.S. government is paying a ton of money in the defense budget for national security reasons to secure telecoms. So, he's my good boy. Yeah, he's a handsome man. Such a good boy. Sorry, y'all are a little lower priority than my baby boy here. So, but yeah, I'm just, you know, it's interesting, and I don't know what we're going to replace that with. And, you know, my guess is $3 billion isn't going to be enough to replace all of that stuff, because once T-Mobile starts, you know, going to, I don't know, let's say Cisco, Fortinet, something like that, networking gear companies, will Cisco give them the government rate, which is twice what the original one was? Because now it's like, you've got to replace it with something, right? So you're, you know, whatever's performant that will work on, you know, enterprise grade, you know, high packet, you know, there's only so many companies that can do that. So, you know, there might be a shortage, you know, supply and demand. All of a sudden, you know, Cisco or Fortinet or Blue Coat or whoever it is that they decide to go with, they're running low. Whether they are or not, I don't know. But you're gonna see prices for things go up, and then, not to get too political here, but with tariffs, most of the stuff is made overseas in countries that are not the United States. So there's going to be an additional X number percentage over that that the companies themselves will have to pay for. Oh, absolutely, Mike. Huawei or ZTE was cheap, right? You know, that's why we buy it, because we can get, you know, 15 enterprise grade, you know, network switches for, you know, $20 instead of, you know, well, I'm at $20, $20 million or something, instead of, you know, 15, you know, Cisco ones for $50 million or something like that. You know, plus support contracts, plus, you know, 24/7/365 and a quarter, plus, you know, 1 hour on site, plus, because, you know, with telecoms, literally minutes is millions of dollars, right? Minutes is millions of dollars. So, you know, we want somebody out here in 30 minutes, or, you know, plus we're going to hire X number of, you know, Cisco employees to be on site 24/7 on call kind of folks. I mean, you know, the costs are going to be up there, right? Costs and maintenance and all that. So the $3 billion, they're probably going to have to earmark more money for that. My guess is it will go up because of reasons. So, you know, if you want to buy some Cisco kit or Cisco stock or something, you know, you might want to take a look at networking companies, and they got to get their kit somewhere, right? So just something to think about. If you get a line on who T-Mobile picks up, or who AT&T or Verizon picks up, especially Verizon, if you get a line on that, you know, if Cisco's going to make a couple of $100 million of, you know, value from, you know, new Verizon kit, maybe you tell your Uncle Brian. Maybe, you know, I heard you get conjugal visits in white collar prison anyway. It's cool. It's all right. It's all right. So anyway, going back to this, until ZTE and Huawei go away, use Signal, use WhatsApp with encryption. You know, send your dick pics to, you know, using, you know, ephemeral messaging so that they don't stick around for very long, or make sure they're encrypted. Yeah, that's the important thing. When you're sending pictures of your naked bits, make sure it's encrypted. That way China can't get a hold of it. So there you go. Yeah. Let's see. What else did they say about this article? Let me see. New Mexico Democrat, Commerce Subcommittee on Communications, Media, and Broadband. What's your take on these drones that New Jersey government claims they can't identify? New Jersey drones? Were they piloted by the Jersey Devil? New Jersey drones. Come on. The Iranian mothership. Come on, dude. It's Wall Street Journal. That'll be behind the paywall. There we go. I haven't heard of these. What is this? Witnesses have spotted a cluster of what appear to be drones larger than typically used by hobbyists, as well as fixed-wing aircraft flying in several areas near the Raritan River in New Jersey since November 18. Raritan River, isn't that where the Red October was stored? No, that's a novel. That's not true. Mysterious drones reported over New Jersey in recent weeks appear to avoid detection by traditional methods such as helicopter and radio. Flying in restricted airspace 2 over Langley. Well, you know, they got to have a heat signature, right? These devices were dronies, were flown. Dozens of mysterious nighttime flights started last month and have raised growing concerns among residents and officials. Part of the issue from flying objects being spotted near Picatinny. Oh my God. Come on, people. Pick better names. Arsenal, U.S. Research, Military Research, and Manufacturing Facility. The golf course in Bedminster. Drones are legal in Jersey for recreational commercial use, but they're subject to FAA regulations and flight restrictions. Operators must be FAA certified. Okay, well, when you find the operator of that, they're probably not FAA certified, so you'll be able to ticket them $50. Yep. Most, but not all, of the drones spotted in New Jersey were larger than those typically used by hobbyists. How do they know? It was dark. Okay. I don't hear any audio, so that's cool. Even though there's audio up, let me turn that off just in case. They're pretty good size. They're pretty good size. It's not like they're trying to, they could have hidden themselves, right? That's my thing. If these drones wanted to be silent or to run silent, you can disable the lights on those. So somebody's flying them, maybe just to be a jackass. Maybe they're trying to see, they're flying in some sort of formation. Maybe they're trying to act like they're UFOs or something. Pentagon says FBI has no idea what they are. Why does the Pentagon know what they are? Why is the Pentagon deferring to the FBI? That doesn't make any sense. See, the ones that are flashing, like the white ones, those look like ones you would get from, what is it? What's the ones they call them? I forget. It's DJI, the DJI drones. Yeah, these. I'm not saying it is those, but they have lights. They have, again, my thought was, if they're trying to be sneaky, why do they have their lights on? Why do they have flashing, identifying lights on? You can fly those things without the lights. They have GPS on them. They have waypoints. I used to have one. I flew it for a little bit. They don't have to be visible. And all you would hear is a little bit of buzzing. I remember going out on winter nights when it was nice and clear. There would always be a drone that would fly around our neighborhood. And it would be flying slowly in a direction. And it would fly off and I'd never see it again. We're in the middle of nowhere. It's not like there's any kind of military installations or anything in the area, but it's like they could turn the lights off if they're wanting to do surveillance or whatever. Nobody would know they're there. You might hear a little humming or whatever. So I'm thinking these are just, people who are exercising their freedom of drone flight if Area 51 was around here, you'd probably have enthusiasts who are flying their drones around too. Now, could be Iran. I don't know. I'm not going to go and look at that other article that looked like it was clickbait anyway. What'd they say? Briefed them on an incident over the weekend. A dozen drones followed a Coast Guard light boat in close pursuit. Okay, so low altitude aircraft observed in the vicinity of one of our vessels. Okay, aircraft weren't an immediate threat and didn't disrupt operations. You've got folks who like to post that shit on Instagram all the time too. I'm not saying that there isn't cause for alarm. So what? If they impeded firefighting efforts. Like if there was a bunch of jackass drones in Malibu that, impeded aircraft to fly, which we've had in Southern California. You got assholes with drones that, the planes can't drop flame retardant if there's a drone in the area. I'm all for, surface to air missiles on them some bitches, but it is what it is. Or, maybe some kind of, microwave jammer that would overload the system and short that out. More restrictions on who's entitled to fly unmanned vehicles. Sure. I don't think it's Iran. I don't think it's a mothership or whatever, like what this article said here from the New York Post. They're just like the freaking Inquirer right now. Yeah, I mean, I don't know yet. Something else has got to happen. Could just be a bunch of jackasses that are, sitting out in the dark, flying their planes around for shits and giggles, They'll catch those folks eventually, right? It'll be interesting to see what happens there. Let's see. Oh, it's 4:30. Okay. I have to keep track of the time. I'm actually going to a networking thing, a mixer at a place in downtown San Diego, or no, not downtown San Diego. What's this place called? Let's see. Let me go check out. He's my boy. He's my boy. You're my good boy, aren't you? Yeah, he's a good boy. 1 second, let me get my... Damn. Okay. There it is. I saw Mike. I saw CSEC East was posting up a. There we go. So San Diego Cyber Group is going on tonight. Oh wait, that's on Wednesday. Well, it's supposed to be networking as in social, but I'm not going to be here on the 18th. Crap. Well, son of a bitch. Well, I can still go to the one in. I can still go to the one at Round Table Pizza tonight. 100%, Mike. I was like, oh, I went down to the brewery and nobody was there. Shit. Okay, that's in like deep down in Mission Valley too. So that's. I mean, the traffic there's just going to be freaking horrendous. So, I mean, that is literally Mission Valley Mall. So, Target, Yard House, AMC 20. There's In-N-Out Burger. Sorry for you San Diego or non-San Diegoites. That's downtown. This is on the 8, so this is what they call Hotel Circle down here near the 8 and the 163. This is Mission Valley, one of the larger malls, and then you have Fashion Valley, which is over here, and then you have UTC, and my house is somewhere up in this area here. So, wow, yeah, good call, Mike. Good thing I checked and bragged to you folks that I was going to No, I was going to a networking mixer. Yeah, I saw Matt from CSEC East had moved away. I was hoping that I think I saw on the Discord, the CSEC East Discord, that they were still planning on doing something. I think Ted and them are still planning on doing some stuff. But I don't know. I haven't been on there in months. I still get the notifications that people are signing up for it. So yeah, it's nice. I got to tell you, it's nice not having to organize something every month. The months went by too fast to keep track of some of those things some months. Well, I hope so, Mike. I think there's a real lack. I don't know if it's gotten better in the past few months, but I know ISSA and ISACA, I know the ISC squared groups there are still going on, but you just kind of need something that's a little less formal, right? And I know that the Black Lodge folks are really good at, have a really good place up there. So, well, crap. So I don't know what the stingrays are for, or the manta rays are for. I know they have them at SeaWorld, but yeah. So, crap. Well, thank you, Mike, for making me double check that. Let me see. Was there anything else newsworthy there? Haktua girl pump and dump scheme. So she created Haktua coin. Got a lot of people to hook up with that. Stole $30 million. So again, not really sad about that. I think if you're involved in crypto, you're going to have to deal with pump and dump schemes. Well, at SeaWorld, we have stingrays there, so, but yeah. Yeah, so I know what Hawk to a Girl is about, but yeah, apparently, so created a crypto coin. The token briefly spiked, climbing to $500 million market cap soon after, to the surprise of no one. Other than the unlucky few who decided to buy it on the markets, the coin collapsed 95%. The upshot is retail investors got fleeced. A group of insiders pocketed $3 million in court, and there was some suggestion that she collected also on that as part of the pump and dump scheme, which I'm not surprised about. A lot of these meme coins, like Doge and those, yeah, you're gonna have that because there's no trust there, right? The problem is people get taken advantage of, and then it's like, oh, now we have to step in and regulate it. Well, that's anathema to what crypto coin is all about. They don't want government interference. They don't want regulation. They want to avoid being a bank or something like that. But it's super speculative, and you should, you know, caveat emptor and all that. So. But yeah, so all the markings of a dreaded rug pull, crypto slang for familiar scam, or bad actors hype a new project to investors to drive up the price. Then they sell off a stash they kept for themselves, leading to the value of the new cryptocurrency to plummet. Right, so you have 5 million coin, meme coin. You know, there's an unknown number of coin out there that is actually existing, but everybody's assuming it's a certain amount. You've invite that new, you know, paradigm in there. So now there's 10 million, you know, meme coin out there, and now there's more supply than there's demand. You know, the plummets, you know, drop, the prices drop. So yeah, it's unfortunate. So let's see, the story continues. Hollywood added that 6.9 million would be sold to early investors. $34 million valuation. Somebody named Doc Hollywood later appeared on X Spaces after Welch for the disastrous launch, but did not respond. Yeah, I thought she'd pocketed like some, you know, 2-3 million on that or something. So, yeah, she earned 10% of the token supply after a 1-year lockup. Payout is now virtually worthless. Her lawyer has paid $125 to promote the token, along with 50% of the proceeds after expenses. So. Yeah, I mean, scams like this happen all the time. Or, hey, I put all of my Bitcoin over in some clearinghouse, and then it's like, oh, the clearinghouse is gone, and so is the person who created the clearinghouse. I really love the trust model of cryptocurrency. It's like you walk up to a complete stranger, you give them all your money, and then you go back to the same place where you saw that stranger and hope that that person's going to come back and give you your money. Nope. Nope. Besides, if you don't actually do anything with it, is it a coin? It's almost like a stock. I mean, even my E-Trade has a super speculative type of crypto EFT or something like that. I could get into crypto EFTs, and I'm like, yeah, just, you know, I already picked up, you know, some stock that may or may not go somewhere. So I'm like, yeah, I'm as speculative as I get is like Lumen Technologies, which unfortunately just got hacked by China, but its stock is doing fine. It actually went back up today. So yeah, it actually went up, you know, a quarter today, but I bought it back when it was, you know, down here. So I'm doing pretty good. You know, it's like 134. I think I bought some of that. So I'm not doing too bad on Lumen stock. I don't listen to Jim Cramer. I don't tend to day trade. I just hold on to it. So it's actually gone up, and I've made, you know, pretty decent profit on that. But I've got stuff from 2012, 2013 that I still have as well that is, you know, 300, 400, 500%. So CoffeeZilla. Oh, okay. Hold on. There it goes. Podcast scam. I don't even know about podcast scams to do them. Damn it. That sucks. Let's see, videos. Mr. Beast, crypto, yes, coffee, the little movie. AI scam. YouTuber. Logan Paul. He posted it on secondary channel. Voidzilla. Oh, okay. Voidzilla. Voidzilla. There we go. Yeah, there you go. So there you go. You can grab that. That's on there. Opportunity of a lifetime. I mean, if you can get in it, I mean, if you're involved in a meme coin and you notice that it's going down and you aren't in on the scam, let's say you got $500,000 out of it. Does that make you a bad person if you decided to dump the stuff that if you could recognize it was a pump and dump scam? I don't know. Like if you knew, Dogecoin was going to pop up to $2, or like a meme stock like GME, like GameStop or something like that. If you knew that GameStop was on its way up and you bought 1,000 shares at $20 and it went up to $50 and you're like, okay, I'm out. And you sell when it's at $50 and then it goes down to about 15. Does that make you a bad person? I don't know. I guess it's kind of the same thing here. If you see this meme stock and you're like, yeah, I'm all in on, Gurgle Girl or whatever her name is, and you buy it at 2 cents and it's now 15 cents, and then you're like, oh, okay, I see it going down. I see, oh, okay, I'm going to cut it out of 13, right? The 13 cents. So you made $25 or something, whatever on that, or $25 million in this case. Are you a bad person if you can recognize that it's a scam and get out? I don't know. I think if you're smart enough to play the market like that, then you win, right? I mean, if you did the same thing with a normal Intel stock or something like that, Intel's kind of in trouble right now too. Yeah, Intel CEO, I think, just quit. He went crazy or something. He said Intel chief
stock market game
who stepped down from his leadership post a week ago, inviting people to join him in prayer and fasting for struggling chip makers employees. So thoughts and prayers for Intel chip makers. He resigned from Intel and Mobileye after spending 3 decades of his career at the company, including the last 4 years as CEO. Struggled amid the rise of rivals like NVIDIA and Taiwan Semiconductor, and Gelsinger's departure comes in the midst of a 4-year turnaround plan aimed at bolstering the chip-making competitiveness. So yes, he's like, Intel's in trouble, thoughts and prayers. Yeah, Mike. Well, I was actually really... Because I love my Surface. I love my Surface. My Microsoft Surface. I have a Surface Pro 8. It's beautiful. I love the form factor on it. I love the pen and everything. And I got a refresh of my work computer that is, Intel M3 Pro. And I was like, do I need my streaming box? If I could get a M3 Pro used or refurbished. I've got another box over there that used to be my old streaming box. I think I actually put this up on Slack that I was like, hey, I've got some stuff I want to get rid of, with the idea that I'll use the proceeds from that to get a new box, because whatever money y'all give me just sits in a bank account somewhere gathering interest. I don't actually do anything with it until it's time to donate some money to a good cause like Black Girls Hack or whatever. I'm really, really bad at this like taking donations thing. You can give me money, but I don't do anything with it. It just sits in a bank account collecting 5% interest, which I did use it last year for sponsoring B-Sides San Diego, but I also give to charities and stuff. All the stuff that I do, I pretty much bought myself. So I was like, I could get rid of my streaming box. I could get rid of, anything but this because I use this for travel. But it's like I could get a nice 14-inch MacBook with 14 cores and 20 GPU cores and stream it 4K because it will render 4K. And apparently it does it fairly fanless. And I was like, wow, they're just kicking Intel's ass on the silicon, right? So yeah, and then, NVIDIA, I've got an NVIDIA chip back there that I haven't used yet, that I have used, but it was the one that was in the original box here. But yeah, Intel is, they're going to have to figure something out. They're going to have to, I think, go back to square one, I think, and try to figure out how to beat, Intel or, Mac Silicon right now, because I love my MacBook that I've had for less than a week. I used to use this piece of shit HP laptop that I couldn't use it for everything I do at work. So Ryzen chips, they're a great price to perform. Yeah, I would have, had I known now, I probably would have gone with AMD for my my CPU on there. I've gone to an AMD GPU. I tried a couple of NVIDIA cards, and for whatever reason, CyberPower PC is garbage with those. And once I popped the one chip in, the new XTX 7900, I've had no problems with my GPU since. No problems with my computer, no black screens of death, whatever. So, and you know how many issues I had, Mike, because you were here when I was having those issues. And yeah, things have been solid since, but it's like, maybe I could go to Mac Silicon because I got Rosetta now, so you can run a lot of the Intel based stuff. Yeah, the XTX. I think I had the 7900, which I think I got it on sale. So, but yeah, yeah. Anyway, I'm going to get ready for the other meetup that I was going to miss tonight. Thank you, Mike. I actually found the Linux, the drivers for NVIDIA. The only problem is, like I said, I gotta have a Chroma because AMD doesn't have like the virtual background stuff that AMD doesn't have the virtual background stuff that NVIDIA does. So I have my Chroma that I can use to get around that. It's kind of annoying though. The NVIDIA virtual background stuff for like OBS and all that was way better than what this is, because as you can see, I've got some green around my hands and stuff. So, but it works in a pinch. If you have to have a Chroma, you can set all that up. But yeah, I'm gonna get ready and head out, and I'm gonna go to Round Table Pizza here in North County, San Diego. Mike, hope you have a good time at HutchCon, and drive safe. If you see anybody we know, say hey. Tell them I said hey. Showing how the sausage is made. Yeah. Well, I've simplified things quite a bit too. I've gotten rid of the dual streaming bit. Trying to get my Twitch and my YouTube to work together has been less stressful, which is also helpful. Yeah. All right. Anyway, have a good night. I'll be back hopefully Friday, and we'll do some more Proxmox stuff and continue with the malware labs. And hope everyone has a good day and good week. And if you're looking for a product manager or security product manager or security PM, or you need a CISO or something, hit me up. I'm on Discord. You can find me on LinkedIn. I don't eat much, just put down some toilet paper, some newspaper, and I'll just, go there. But go check things out. And have a good week. All right, y'all. Have a good one. Bye.